humanity. It's October 19th, 2020, and it's one of those favorite parts of your week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Oh, good morning. This
Good,
is Bev.
good morning, Bev, and good morning, all of you, and good morning to the world. Oh, what a wonderful day. Even though we had two rattlesnakes and an owl, lots of
Ooh,
omens for us out here at Placida Crestamia.
yep, I
Yeah, that
think.
that was quite the experience dealing with those rattlesnakes. But it's all right. Good lessons. Wake up, wake up. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to wake up. We have a great show today because we're going to talk about 5G. Jenny
Ooh.
says to me, "What's 5G?"
Oh, how refreshing.
I know. It's great if you don't know what 5G is. But for those of us who do, we're going to talk about 5G and biotouch. And I'll tell you why we're going to talk about that. Somebody came into the center the other day, and they live here in Tucson, in the city, and they were telling me that they were putting in dozens of 5G network things right in the heart of these residential areas. And there's no regulation, and they were all freaked out, and the 5G pollution and on and on and on. And I thought, well, that's a perfect topic. 5G and how does biotouch bring us into a little bit of hope? We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
So so we're going to talk about it. We're not saying one way or the other. We're going to just share some of the thoughts that have been floating around there, and whether you believe in 5G as a pollution or not a pollution. I mean, the data is out there. People have believed all kinds of things for a long time, and I wanted to share with you some of the research and data that's been out there since the 80s. And so one of those
Yeah.
books that I got turned on to back in the 80s, early 90s, was a book called Body Electric. You can see it here by Robert Becker, MD, electromagnetic and the foundation of life, talking about how the body, uh, and he shows the research, is an electromagnetic unit. Well, of course, we have all kinds of quantum physicists and, you know, Liptons and Radon and all these guys are talking about, electromagnetism, how the body is an electromagnetic unit.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. And so then, a few years later in 2000, Dr. Becker comes out with another book called Cross Currents: The Perils of Electropollution. So,
And so it begins.
so it begins. And so I remember reading these two books. Now, back in these days, cell phones were just beginning. He was saying more like even clock radios with those LEDs or whatever in them. To have those next to your head was not good for you. The
Oh, hair
springs, the
blowers.
hair blowers,
Remember
yes,
that?
yeah, the
Yep.
hair blowers.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
microwaves that you cook with. The He even talked about the springs in your box spring creating an electro current
Yep.
short circuit. And I read all this and I'm like, okay, that it's believable. If we're an electromagnetic unit and we're flooding ourselves with electromagnetic vibrations outside of ourselves, but I always felt, okay, if that's true, I got biotouch. I got
Yep.
biotouch. That can neutralize this electromagnetic pollution.
Exactly.
Can we
Not
put
only that, it on those other levels, say that self-awareness, it brings us into a consciousness about to become less fearful
Yeah.
and accepting that, hey, this is the way the world is going, but in the midst of all that, I can have a choice.
And that's the thing I've always felt. We can fight, and we have these social movements, and we have these political writing campaigns, and I remember in the beginning, I'm like, well, I don't think we're going to get rid of cell phones. I don't think we're going to get rid of Wi-Fi networks. I don't think we're going to get rid of these towers because
Nope.
it's just a part of the evolution of technology and human beings on the planet. So how much inspirational can it get to apply things like biotouch? And that's when we got turned on to this particular book, Vibrational Medicine. Okay, and it's called the Handbook of Subtle Energy Therapies, and that's by a Dr. Richard Gerber, MD. It's a great book if you want to go, and this is the third edition here, and he wrote this back in started in 2001 about the history of vibrational medicine on the planet, energy, subtle medicine, energy medicine from the beginning of human beings on the planet, and then moves into how we use subtle energy medicine techniques now. And it's a huge field, subtle energy
Yes.
medicine. Energy medicine, that's a big buzzword, in the field of integrative medicine and healthcare.
Well, that's here now, and it's not going away either.
Exactly. So, it goes back to me about all these things that create fear in us, right? We talked about that. All these things that create turmoil and conflict in us. There's those things help us wake up.
Yeah, if you being a student of the history of humanity, you look back over all of our long history of how we think and how we work and how we move here, and we have developed this pattern of least resistance into suffering and fear. That's our knee jerk. That's how we do. And I've often thought, when are we going to replace that with this, because we have a choice. Why have we chosen the suffering and the pain and the fear and the war and all this, when we have just as much opportunity on the other side to choose love, to
Right?
choose peace?
Right.
What? And I really believe that something like BioTouch had to come back at a very profound time in our history, by the way, to give us the option of making a different choice now, to bring us, and part of our problem is this separate thinking. It's you and me. Well, now it's time for us. That's what BioTouch is promising, that in that relationship, that's when love and healing takes place, to remind us that we're not here alone. We never have been. That's been the illusion. So in that self-awareness that happens, we start to remember, oh, we do have a choice. We
Right.
can always choose love
Right.
and togetherness.
Yes. That's such an important message. It's sort of the responsibility we have to take as human beings on this planet. We're here together, and we're not negating the movements to research the 5G or the Wi-Fi's, or we're not negating that it is having an effect on us. What we're saying is, for all the same amount of time that we put into negating that, putting that into that negative stuff, if we at least balance it, put as much time, it doesn't even have to be as much time. I mean, we're talking about 1 minute a day to neutralize this electromagnetic pollution. Now, we just said that, to neutralize this electromagnetic pollution. Can we prove that? Hell no.
No.
We can't. It's a theory that we have, and let's just show you in the theory, in relation to the stress chart that Dr. Kenna Stevenson did when she did the research. We have all these stressors in our life, and we can put the 5G, 4G, micro electromagnetic pollution. That's a stressor in our life. That's creating an accelerated aging pathway, chronic stress. These pollutions are chronic stress on our body. And she found if you put BioTouch into that chronic stress cycle, you actually change the immune dysregulation to immune regulation. You take your cortisol dysregulation and change it to a circadian pattern that is balanced. And so you alleviate all these brain tumors and dementia and cardiovascular diseases, all these things that we're saying are part of this electromagnetic pollution, which, again, these books cross current. Ancient old book in the 80s, but it's still relevant now. It just has more toys to pollute us.
Right.
you know, so yeah, I just don't know. I just sort of get flabbergasted by taking 1 minute out of our day to add to our health and well-being.
Well, and this is part of the foundation's responsibility in the world, is to say to people, yes, there is this, there is that, there's these conditions, we're all living under this and this and this. However, there is something that you can do. And isn't that where the hope comes?
Yes.
There is something you can do. We don't call it this or that, but we know the possibilities that BioTouch is offering. And we can say, try this. Why, if you have a choice,
right?
Why not?
Right. I mean, we choose the foods that we eat. If we read about all the pollutions of the food and the pesticides, we choose to eat right. If we, on and on and on, when we've analyzed what goes into our bodies or what's affecting our bodies, we choose. And so here's a simple choice. This is not a big deal, folks. You go to justtouch.com and even just learn the greeting. But we're going to show you how to do the headset, which, if it's having those effects on the electromagnetic circuitry of the brain, and again, I'm using these terms, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. These are terms that are floating around, and we pretend like, oh, I understand that. Well, I'm not saying I understand it or that I believe in it, but I do know that there is a way that we can live healthy, and that is by incorporating BioTouch into our life, and then do whatever you want to do. Go to a protest rally, write your senators and your congressmen about the 5G, stand in front of one, and while they're trying to build it. There's numerous things we can do externally, but BioTouch helps us. You know what it just sort of calms us for a moment.
Yes, it does.
Calms the whole circuit.
And there's another aspect. I was reminded of this the other day talking to someone. And we say it, what our birthright is, right? Healthy, happy, loved. Happiness is something that is very foreign to humanity as a whole. We do not live in happiness. This is one of the promises, one of the things, the gifts that BioTouch can really bring into our experience, our daily lives, is this sense of being okay, and we can turn that into happiness, being hopefulness. So that, like I said, why not choose love?
Right. Choose love just with two fingers. Reach out and touch someone with the greeting. And we're going to show you, even if you just do this first part of the headset, just this A and A, and just doing the greeting and A and A. If you can do the whole headset, that's fine. We can share it with you, but we want to share at least what the headset is all about here.
The headset can be used to address conditions related to the brain. There are 4 steps in this set. In step 1, use ThruFire to touch points A and A. Point A on the back of the head is in the center of the neck at the base of the skull. Point A on the front of the head is at the center of the forehead, where the forehead begins to curve to the crown.
Hello? We can't do that?
So, we just wanted to show you that first part.
Yeah.
Show you how simple it can be to create what we just have to believe is a proper circuit in that brain, just on the forehead and at the back of the neck, at the base of the skull. A and A. And so the greeting just below the breastbone, and then to the left of the big bone. And all this is on our website. You know, if you just plug into the first 10 pages and you get the greeting, it's all free. There's nothing, you don't have to go buy this thing. And maybe that's what's so difficult. We don't put a price on it, so people don't think it's important.
Again, we've taken that path, haven't we?
Yeah.
No, this is a gift. It belongs to all of us.
Right, and that's what happened over 30 years ago. I felt this was a gift for humanity. How can we charge people for it? You already possess this within you. This is not something you have to pay somebody to give you. You possess the power to use what they're calling subtle energy therapies. You don't have to get it. You don't have to be initiated. You don't have to special incantation, prayers and,
prepare yourself.
There. Yeah, it's just
negativity.
There. Just do it. You don't have to like the person you're with. You just do it for your morning breakfast ritual or before you go to bed or watching TV. You could be watching The Big Bang Theory and just doing it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. We're just starting to watch those all day.
I love it.
Those guys are funny.
I know.
And you could be watching a sports game. We don't care. Whatever toots your horn. Just take those two fingers and just lightly touch another human being. And so again, I just want to share these books with you. Again, the Body Electric by Dr. Becker, Cross Currents by Dr. Becker, and a great book about the history of subtle energy medicine, vibrational medicine by Dr. Gerber. If you need books to read, there you go. There's 3 of them, thick enough to spend.
Good ones.
But all you need is 60 seconds with these 2 fingers.
Yeah.
So we have ways to learn this. Go to justtouch.com. We have a workshop coming up this week. It's going to be on breast cancer, how to work with breast cancer. And we have Rhonda Little, who's a licensed massage therapist and is working with her own diagnosis of breast cancer. That's this Thursday, 6 p.m. Arizona time, live stream. It'll also be posted on our website when we're done. And again, if you're a massage therapist, a nurse, or a doula, you can get CE credits for that. And then this Saturday, we have a virtual training. Again, massage therapists can get CE credits for that. 8 CE credits for that. It's only $60. So get your friends and families. Yeah, nurses. We already have some people from Hawaii, San Diego, 2 people from Texas. Might be somebody from Canada. Yeah, this virtual training is just wonderful.
Oh, hey, by the way, we all better get used to that because this is what we're all doing in the world. Right? So, sit in front of that computer.
Right. So, if love has no boundaries, and we're told that, if love is just love, then you know something? I can feel it in Bev. It's not about the physicality. That's helped. That's being part of the human nature, sentient being. But we're putting out the vibration of love. And so it can be done virtually. You can then take your 2 fingers and touch somebody at home. And if we want to have something that we're going to use for this electromagnetic pollution that's surrounding us now, let's take hope and BioTouch and put it into application. Put love into application.
Absolutely. Oh, it's time.
It's time.
It's love. And it's here for all of us now. Choose.
Just gives me chills up my spine. So we hope we've been somewhat inspirational to you all. We love doing these Monday shows to help remind us, at least, to keep on touching, keep on loving. So
yes.
Thanks, Bev. That was quite the 5G.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, it was.
Hey, we'll see you all next week, yeah?
Yep. Have a great week.
I can feel the pain in sunshine or rain, so it's not caused by the weather, but it doesn't hurt that much after I feel your loving touch. And we spend some time together. You take my pain away each and every day. You're an angel from heaven on high. Your butterfly touch helps me heal so much, and I get better as time goes by. You take my pain away. All my joints were sore, but not anymore. Since you touched me your special way, the way you touch makes me feel that your love is for real. And I feel fantastic all day. Take my pain away each and every day. You're an angel from heaven on high. Your butterfly touch helps me heal so much, and I get better as time goes by. Take my